Mr. Zelensky brings back 5 Azov commanders from Turkey, Moscow reacts. From Turkey, Mr. Zelensky returns to Ukraine along with 5 Azov battalion commanders previously detained by the Russian military. On July 8, Ukrainian President Zelensky joyfully announced that he was coming back home with the heroes. The Ukrainian president posted a 1-minute video showing him shaking hands and embracing the commanders, who were all smiling. "We are returning home from Turkey and bringing back our heroes," Mr. Zelensky said on Telegram. Denis Prokopenko, Sviatoslav Palomar, Serhiy Volinsky, Oleg Komenko, and Denis Shleha. "Finally, they will be reunited with their families," Mr. Zelensky added. In the approximately 1-minute video posted on Telegram, Mr. Zelensky shakes hands and expresses his happiness upon welcoming back the 5 Azov battalion commanders to Ukraine. These individuals had surrendered and were detained by the Russian military after the Azovstal steel plant battle in Mariupol, southern Ukraine, last year in May. On May 20, 2022, the Russian Ministry of Defense declared that over 2,400 Ukrainian soldiers who had defended the Azovstal steel plant had surrendered. They were taken to detention camps in Donbass. In September 2022, according to an agreement mediated by Turkey, Russia and Ukraine organized a prisoner exchange. Russia handed over 215 prisoners to Ukraine, including the 5 Azov battalion commanders, whom Moscow considered terrorists. According to the agreement, the 5 Azov commanders were supposed to reside in Turkey until the conflict in Ukraine ended. On July 7, Mr. Zelensky made a visit to Turkey and met with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Mr. Zelensky did not explain why Turkey agreed to allow Ukraine to bring back the 5 Azov commanders. On July 8, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov accused Turkey and Ukraine of violating the agreements regarding the prisoner exchange. "We were not informed about this action." According to the agreement, the Azov commanders were supposed to remain in Turkey until the conflict ended, Mr. Peskov stated. Mr. Peskov emphasized that Ukraine and Turkey had directly violated the September 2022 agreement on the prisoner exchange. "Both Ukraine and Turkey have violated the agreements," Mr. Peskov said. According to Mr. Peskov, Turkey was forced to allow the return of the 5 Azov commanders due to pressure from the NATO bloc ahead of the upcoming summit in Vilnius. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov had a phone conversation with his Turkish counterpart, Hakan Fidan, on the evening of October 9. According to the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sergei Lavrov told his counterpart, Hakan Fidan, that continuing to supply weapons to Kiev would be detrimental. The ministry made this statement after the phone conversation. The Russian side emphasized the destructive nature of providing weapons to Kiev and stated that such actions could only lead to negative consequences. The return of the commanders of the Ukrainian nationalist Azov battalion, which Russia considers a terrorist organization, to Ukraine was one of the topics discussed during the phone conversation between Lavrov and Fidan. The parties exchanged views on the regional agenda, focusing on recent developments surrounding Ukraine, including the return of Azov commanders from Istanbul to Kiev, the ministry stated. According to the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the ministers reiterated the importance of strengthening trust between Moscow and Ankara based on agreements and principles between President Vladimir Putin and Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In addition, the parties also discussed the prospects for further cooperation on issues related to global food security. The ministry further stated that the ministers also discussed various aspects of bilateral cooperation, including enhancing information communication channels. However, no one can be satisfied when agreements are violated,